BowTie Barbecue has always been a work of passion. It takes time, skill, and a blend of perfect temperature, wood, smoke, and meats. We just took it up a notch. Taste the passion. BowTie Barbecue, 6724 Waters Avenue, Savannah.
Welcome into the Danny Britt Show here on this Thursday afternoon, coming to you live from BowTie Barbecue on Waters, just off of Eisenhower, as we've come to the final regular season game of the season. Coach, it is senior night tonight for Benedictine, but we look back, as we always do, to last week against Wayne County, and it seems like we've said this 3 or 4 times this year. It's one of the games in the state last week. And for all the people telling you, well, you guys just run through your schedule. You've had about 3 or 4 games in the week, seemingly so far on the schedule, but a good program, very tough football team in Jessup, a great place to play. Crowd was into it on their side, and back and forth ball game. And then I think you and I talked post game. It seemed like probably the best 24 minutes of football as a team you guys have played all year long in that second half against Wayne County.
Yeah, definitely. And as you mentioned, the schedule, I think it needs to be noted, the intensity, the toughness of the schedule has been pretty brutal. And, I noticed they put it in Georgia High School Daily the other day and ranked the toughness of the schedule. And we were at right at 60%, like 4th in 4A, not counting because they don't count out of state competition.
Right.
They're not counting Julius Chambers, who would have raised that even more. And so in the past, that's proven to be very beneficial to us, that you learn how to compete. Your stats may not be padded, it may not look as pretty. All right, you're not in there as the highest scoring teams, or giving up the less points and all those things that are in the end. So I'm hoping that continues to prove very valuable to us. And yes, that Wayne County the other night was another one of those games, and a very good football team. They in a great environment. They did a really good job of getting that small town feel, and then with the flashing lights, and the student section did a good job. They did a really good job, and I was very proud of our team and how we competed. And
again, it seemed like in the first half, you guys were just trading blows with one another. You get a score, they'd come back. When you're playing that type of football game, of course, they had a big time talent at running back, probably the best running back you guys have seen here in 2023. What was that first half like, just watching it go back and forth?
Yeah, it was. You're trading blow for blow, and even though we gave up 21 points in the first half, I never felt like I was never freaking out. They were doing a good job, and we. They were making some good play calls, and right in the toward the end of the second quarter, we decided to put Luke Cromenhawk at safety, and that really changed things. And it's amazing how much it changed things, even when he wasn't making the play. I think that front seven just, he's their leader, he's our leader, and can do it on defense as well.
And again, as you said, I think that's what a lot of folks, we've talked about this throughout the season. Wayne's a good football team. They were you
Right.
said last Thursday, hey, they're going to make plays. It's going to happen. Right. It's just how do we react to that? And I thought, again, second half, you really honed in on their big running back. And I think he must have been averaging 9-10 yards a carry in the first half. And then you pitched a shutout.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of things there. Coach Houston and his defense. One, yes, we put Luke in, and that helped. But also, the linebackers were overrunning some things earlier, and he got them honed in and changed up a few calls that he was making, and really shut them out in the second half. And I think Fuller had 11 yards in the second half. So just did a really good job defensively of making those plays.
And defensively, was that maybe one of the first, just you felt like slow, we're going to run it right at you, and where it just was physical at the line of scrimmage from the jump, really?
Yeah, that was definitely one of the strongest ones that we've had. I mean, we've had other people do that, but I mean, I feel like that as far as just a total game for us, it was the best team game that we have played.
Didn't you get to a big, just to single out a guy real quick, fourth down, Larson Little, your sophomore linebacker comes through and kind of goes man on man with Mr. Fuller, and he's a big kid. And on fourth and short, he stopped right in his tracks, and you guys got the ball back and put the game away after that point.
Well, and I have to give credit to Coach Houston on that. That was a great play call that put Larson right in a position to make a play. He was unblocked and right in position to make a play. And, of course, then credit to Larson for making that play. And yeah, Fuller is a big kid, but Larson knows where the weight room is too. And you can look at him and tell, and he's worked his behind off and is a very good football player as well.
I would say speak to him as a young player, a sophomore, and I think a lot of times you guys – especially on defense with so many guys that are seniors and have played so much football for you. You see a guy like Larson, and maybe he gets overlooked a little bit, but he's been very, very solid for you as a second-year player. Guy played a little bit as a freshman, but started the whole year for you at that other linebacker spot, and he's been very, very solid. Just speak to kind of his progression and what you've seen out of him kind of taking on that full-time role.
Well, Larson was my Beast of the Week last week, which I have T-shirts for, and basically it's guys that it's sponsored by the Zoo Health Club. By the way, so Larson, we thought he could be ball hawk last week. He hasn't gotten that opportunity yet, and that's the guy, the defensive guy that just had made the most plays, and we give that every week. We felt like Cam Cody had 9 tackles, and he had been so close previous 2 or 3 games. We just felt, okay, Cam deserved it. So Larson got the Beast of the Week, and Larson is a machine, man. He shows up, he works, he never hear him complain. You can get on his behind, and he actually, oddly, I think he enjoys it. You know, he likes being pushed. He's just a really, really good football player, really good kid, loves football, loves working, strong, really, really strong in the weight room. And, and it's really that's the difference between him last year and him this year is just he really got in the weight room over the past, over the winter and the summer and put on some really good muscle.
It sounds like a guy from the way you talk that you like to coach. It's a very coachable kid. It's like, hey, I can yell at him a little bit. He doesn't take it personal and just, fix it and moves on.
He does. That's his personality. That's who he is. And I'm excited to have 2 more years with him.
Is that I'm just off subject? Is that a changing thing you think in high school sports where you hear folks saying, I want my kid coached hard, and a lot of times you're like, from outside forces, well, you're kind of being mean to him or yelling at him a little bit. And is it rare that kids kind of don't take that personally and get their feelings hurt anymore, where it's like, hey, he's just trying to push me?
So since we're on the internet, do we have as long as we want?
Well, yeah, absolutely.
I could go on for hours about that. And actually was talking about this in the weight room this morning. We were working out at the zoo again and you're talking about that. And I told a guy, because he was fussing about kids today, and kids said, he doesn't work with kids. And I said, by the way, kids haven't changed. Kids have not changed. The adults and society have changed. That's who's changed. So the kids can be pushed. Now, yeah, it's changing, and it's different. But the kids will accept things and handle it better than parents. It's what the parents will handle. And most parents that are sending their kids to Benedictine accept it and say, hey, we're handing our son over to you, and we want you to push them. We want you to force them to be better, be the best versions of themselves. We want them to have tough times. We want them to experience, failure so that they can get to ultimate success, all of those things. Now, they want us to love them and care about them and treat them well and make sure that they're physically okay and all those things, of course. But, that's no different than, but yeah, it is changing, and the kids, it sometimes it's tougher, but and I'll tell kids real fast, and you're probably at the wrong school and definitely in the wrong program if you can't handle that.
Going back to the football game, I thought second half also, you mentioned the defensive adjustments you made. Second half, it seemed like kind of went back to old school Benedictine football, if you will, where, I tried to throw it a little bit in the first half and just for whatever reason weren't blocking it well enough, or guys weren't getting open fast enough to make those calls. And it seemed like you kind of went back to old school bread and butter Benedictine football where, hey, we're coming downhill, we're going to come at you.
Right. Well, first of all, yes, I don't think it was necessarily as much we weren't blocking it well, or we weren't, throwing it well. It was they had a very good game plan, and there were times when they were bringing more than we could block, and we didn't have a quick outlet, or they were covered. Yeah, and they have very good defense and a lot of speed. So as we were walking off, Coach DePhillips said, we're going to have to run the ball. We're going to have to figure out how to run the ball. And I thought did a tremendous job of scheming it up going into the second half. Very well designed plays. If you'll go back and look, we were shifting people over and using all kind of different formations to get the angles and get the blocking. Then those guys did it very well. Not just, the blocking of it and the running of the plays, and it just did a really good job. And then, of course, when we, had throws we had to make, Luke hit them on the money. And then that's what happens. If you can start running the ball good enough, then it's going to be really hard to defend the play action pass.
And again, another case of you guys just kind of have that inside you to step up and you can change gears on the fly. I know a lot of teams, especially at the high school level, can't do that. If the game plan doesn't work, then that's it. It seems like you guys have done a good job offensively, defensively adjusting in the middle of the game of kind of what you need to do to get the ball rolling, so to speak.
Yeah, I in talking about that, and I hope that my program will always be that way. I remember first couple of years, was it year 2? I think it was year 2 we were in the playoffs, and we had late Stevie Powers had come in, and we started throwing the ball a lot, and we were down inside the 5, and we were in shotgun, and I went off. I called a timeout. What are we doing? We will always be able to line up, get under center, and run the football. And I hope that the program. I don't understand it. I'll tell you this. Last week we were watching a game, the Oregon and Washington game.
Right.
All right. So Oregon's down there. They're inside like the 1, and they're in shotgun. I didn't say one word. I'm just sitting there staring at it. And Stephanie, my wife, said, "Why in the heck are they not under center?" And I laughed and I said, "Isn't that so simple for me to? To get under center. Why do you want to go back 5 yards to get 1 yard?
Right.
So, and I think that's what a lot of teams do. Say, no, we're going to sell out and we're going to just be this. We're going to just throw the ball and then, run these few plays. Why? You have time to work on it. Do both. Be able to be multiple. And it makes it harder to defend.
And again, the win last week, Coach, clinched a region championship for you guys again. And I know you have said, look, for all the talk about what's maybe to come down the road, region championship is still very important and shouldn't be taken lightly that you got yet another one.
No, not taken lightly at all. And I kept telling the guys that, hey, this is huge. And, and I get it. They don't know what it feels like to not win that. And it's been one, but hey, enjoy it. And we did. We celebrated it. We had a good time. They felt good after that win. We all felt good. We knew we'd run a gauntlet. We'd beaten a really good football team and did it as a team, as a full team win. And so it felt really good and so very proud of them.
We are live here at BowTie Barbecue on this Thursday afternoon ahead of the final regular season game. It's a game day edition of the Danny Britt Show. We're coming right back here to BowTie Barbecue. We'll look ahead to tonight's ball game with the Islands High Sharks when we come right back here on the Danny Britt Show.
BowTie Barbecue has always been a work of passion. It takes time, skill, and a blend of perfect temperature, wood, smoke, and meats. We just took it up a notch. Taste the passion. BowTie Barbecue, 6724 Waters Avenue, Savannah.
Welcome back here to the Danny Britt Show at BowTie Barbecue on Waters, just up from Eisenhower as the final regular season game tonight against Islands. Again, if you like the program, if you like the football on Friday nights as well, like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube or go to watchbcsports.com and you can go back and watch anything you may have missed. And tonight, senior night, ahead of this game against Islands, we get to tonight's scouting report, Coach Britt.
And once again, this scouting report is sponsored by Abel Zion on and More. Abel Zion on and More and Associates would like to congratulate the senior class on senior night. The long-term commitment to the program mirrors Abel's Iron on More's approach to investing. thank you for what you have done for BC and community.
And the scouting report, Coach, again for Islands, again just on paper, you guys are 9-0. They're 0-9.
Right.
You guys have put up a lot of points. I don't think they've scored more than 14 in the ball game so far this season. So obviously they are struggling a little bit. I would imagine their last game, as well as the whole region gets the week off next week, they're going to leave everything they got out there to try to beat you. I know last year it was a game where a lot of folks thought, oh, BC's just going to come out here and it's going to be, pick your score, and they kind of made you work for it a little bit.
Yeah, last year we went out and were way too relaxed, and they scored on us early. They hit a play over the top, ended up getting a field goal, and we ended up going to half 14-3, and I almost had an aneurysm at halftime. I lost. It said things I shouldn't even have said, and I had to apologize to my mama, the entire team, and say a lot of prayers about that. So, hope that will not happen again. I told them, I said, we're not going to do that. Whatever happens, that will not happen again. And I talked to them. They understand that. Hopefully we go out and perform like we're supposed to. They've struggled, and they're going to, but they're going to throw everything at us. It's just the way it is. But it's been the case all year. We've been playing teams, and they've been faking it from their own 25, and pulling out double reverses and everything else, and all of those things. But we have to be able to go play our game, and that's all I'm really worried about.
So what is Island's going to try to do here tonight offensively when you guys see them?
They throw the football. They're 72% pass rate, so they're going to throw it, and they have a number of receivers. They run a typical spread where they double formations, ace, spread and empty backfields, and they throw it around, run your typical mesh and Cadillac and those universal type patterns, and so they're going to do that, running it a little bit, and then so we've got to be able to line up and stop it. It's nothing we haven't seen before, and so we just got to go play our game.
And again, defensively, what do they kind of bring to the table against you?
They're going to run a 3-4, typical 3-4 look. They're going to run a lot of cover 4 and cover 3. And according to what we're in, and that they've got some good players that can run, and they got a few big guys up front that can that will come in. That their defensive line for the mean, but they do have a few big guys they'll mix in there as well. So and then as far as special teams concerned, it's we should definitely win that battle. We have to win that battle, and hopefully we can go make some plays there as well.
And Coach, obviously, I think if things go according to the plan, then you guys should be able to build a lead up here in this game. Again, just looking at it on paper, and obviously it would be ideal if you guys could play some guys that maybe haven't gotten a lot of snaps throughout the course of the season.
That's definitely the plan, and it's been planned a few occasions we've not been able to do, and hopefully we'll go out and perform like we're supposed to, and I'm one of those coaches that I don't try to, sugarcoat. You can't fake out the kids. They're smart. Right. They know what's going on. So I talk to them very real and say, the plan is go out, take care of business, be somewhat professional about it, but also enjoying the fact that it's your senior night and all those things. And then let's roll some twos in there, and then certainly get the seniors in that have been in the program for a long time that may not play as much, or maybe just play on one or two special teams. Get them in, get them some reps, and let them see the field, and then start working some younger guys.
And again, how important is that? I've said that a number of the years that I've been following you guys, that you've had usually throughout the course of the season. As you said, this year's been a little different, where you'll have 3 or 4 ball games where a lot of guys get in, and so that kind of separates you from other programs where you'll have guys who, quote, don't play a whole lot, who have actually kind of played a lot, that get some reps. How important is it to get those Friday night reps for, like you said, the 2s and some of the 3s?
It's very important because, and even more important, I mean, we don't play a lot of JV games. We're able to get a few freshman games in this year, but we don't get a lot of JV games because nobody around here will play us. So we usually get a lot of reps in that. Right. Okay, you can get a quarter here, 2 quarters there, and that gives them experience. And also, I mean, this guy, it's hard to get out there and work all the time and not get reps in the game. So it's very important for that to happen, and it's very important for the future. And getting okay. So maybe they won't go in and get reps on offense or defense, but getting special teams reps. I have a full 2 deep look on special teams. Love to get them in there because any playing time is Friday night playing time, and it really helps in the years to come.
I was going to say, I imagine there's a lot of guys this week that maybe were extra excited because they thought, hey, I might have some extra opportunity to go out and put some stuff out there on tape for you. Before we get to a little farther, this senior night, and I would imagine every group I know as a coach, it's cliche to say they're all special, but this one, a chance to, depending on what happens, but at this point, they've won back-to-back state championships, and if you guys make it to the game again, this senior group will have played 59 high school football games. I mean, you can only play 60 if you were to make it to the championship game every time. That's a lot of football. That's 6 years, basically, of high school football crammed into 4. What can you say about some of these seniors who will be taking the final regular season home game tonight for your program?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yes, they played a lot, and they've been very successful. And what I keep telling them is not to take it for granted because they have played so much. It could be kind of a tendency to like, well, we played so much, but it's very important. And when it's gone, it's gone. And we talk about it all the time. Hey, I can bring guys in that play college, bring guys in that play the NFL, and you go back to that high school. That high school was the best time of their life because you're playing for your school, your community, your brothers. It's once you go to college, and certainly if you're fortunate to make it to pros, it's a business. It's all a business, and so so I try to tell them to enjoy that time. But I'm very proud of this group. They've won 4 region championships. They've won a lot of football games. They've handled themselves well for a very long time. So super proud of them, and just want them to continue pushing and finish this thing right.
When you look at guys like Luke and Bryce and Wilkes, Albert, and some of that, does it feel like they've been playing for a long time, or does it still go by quick, just as quick as if they hadn't played as many games they had?
It goes by quick still. I mean, first of all, when you get really good players, you don't want to lose them. You want them to stay around. So, it does. I mean, I understand. I get it. It's been with them for a very long time, but it goes by pretty daggum fast.
Seniors, again, have put a lot in the program. And when you talk about a program like Benedictine, it seems like, especially since you've been there, Coach, but just kind of the mentality at BC, it's kind of you are setting the path or paving the way for the guys behind you. And certainly these guys had a great bunch of folks in front of them. What do you think the legacy these guys are leaving for the kids that might be in 9th grade, 8th grade, about to come into Benedictine next year? What do you think their kind of lasting legacy is for your program?
I think consistency is part of it. They've been a very consistent group. They've worked hard and shown up and understanding the things as far as, academically of doing things right for the most part, of behaviorally. They've done things right. And then certainly as far as working out and playing football, they've done those things. So they're leaving a very good legacy of, hey, this is how you want to handle yourself. This is how you want to do it. And then, a lot of these guys are being recruited in big time ways, and they've shown how to handle that, and how to be mature and still make it about the team.
I was going to say, speaking of that, we have a few minutes. You're at the end of the regular season, then you're obviously looking at the postseason, but recruiting, has it been kind of quiet at this point because colleges are playing? And is this the time for your guys that are looking at offers? Obviously, people know about Luke and what he's had,
right.
But for the guys that maybe aren't looking SEC, they're saying, hey, I want to play at the next level. What's that recruitment look like? Does it not pick up till December? I know you got early signing period. What's that process kind of start to look like for you as a coach in, evaluating your players and kind of telling them, hey, this is what some of the options are for you?
Yeah, it did slow down for a while. And other than, of course, people are reaching out about the juniors, like Jacoby's going to games and Third's going to different games. And those guys are going and, visiting different places. But it slowed pretty much because those guys are wide open in their season. But it's starting to pick back up now. And I haven't looked at the calendar, but a lot of the other schools, FCS type school, Division II type schools are now, okay, who do you have as a senior? And so it's picking up. I've sent out a lot of stuff on Wilkes the past week, and hopefully keep pushing him. And I mean, he can play at the next level, and 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 a number of guys are starting to. I sent out my prospect list. I think to 5 different places just this morning because people are asking for it, and trying to see who we have. Both the smaller schools, probably more the seniors, and then the juniors and sophomores for the bigger schools.
As a head coach, just kind of give us some insight into what you feel your role is when it comes to recruiting. Are you simply the advocate, or you like a counselor to the players? Say, look, these are the options, and what do you consider to be your roles? And I know that's kind of different for every coach, but when it comes to recruiting and giving guys the best possible information, opportunity to play at the next level, what do you kind of take on as your role in that piece?
I kind of look at it as I'm the hub for the players to then get out, to the schools, and I need to push that. And with our success, but most colleges are going to know who we are and who I am, and they can reach out to me. But ultimately, it comes down to the players and their parents, where they go and that sort of thing. And I was taught, in the past, I've talked to some guys, and they've had Georgia Southern offers, and I'm like, listen, it isn't about that to me. That's my school, and I'm proud of them. But I want you to go where it's best for you. And that all depends. There's so many different factors. I try to meet with the parents of the recruitable athletes in the winter, and then possibly again in the spring, and just talk about where they're going and how this process works and what's best for them. And it's really hard because everybody wants to get recruited. They'll say, okay, maybe I see why Georgia doesn't offer him, but at least Georgia Southern could. I'm like, I don't think you understand. Georgia Southern's Division I, II. They getting dudes from all over the country. But let's look at some other opportunities all the way. Whether it's major. Georgia's at a whole different level than everybody right now. Maybe Alabama's close, but then you go to the NC States and those type places that are incredible. Then you go to the group of 5 guys, and then the FCS schools and Division II, Division III. Academic schools, kids that are over 3.0 and have a good SAT score can go to a school and play, and they have to figure out what they want to do. We talk to kids too, talk to parents and say, first of all, do you want to go play college ball, or you just want to sign somewhere? And that's what a lot of people are like, I haven't really thought about it. Like, do you want to go and be there in the summer, work your behind off, and get up at 5:30 a.m. and go to workouts, and while everybody else is done at noon and partying until they go back to school the next day? Do you want to do all those things? And some kids do, and they can get that opportunity. My feeling is if you can start at Benedictine, you can play college football. Now, a lot of the kids, and I love it when they're honest with me. They're like, Coach, I would like to go to this level type school. If that doesn't work out, I can get into Georgia and my parents can pay for it. I'll just do that. I'm like, hey, I get it. I respect that. Just be honest with me. Save me a bunch of time and the other coaches a bunch of time. So that's kind of where we're at.
But it has seemed like you have got a lot of guys who have gone on to play at the next level, and you find that kids don't realize how many opportunities there are out there to go and make a name for themselves. That I think Travis Blackshear has been at Furman. He might go down as one of their best defensive backs they've ever had in the history of the school. And how many kids realize that about a school like Furman is like, hey, they're giving you every opportunity to still get that great education, play football, and you may go down as not just one of the players who were there, but one of the best they've had.
So Travis is a great example, a tremendous player, gone and done a great job at Furman University. So he's getting a $75,000 a year education for free, and now has his master's degree from there because he, for free. So how incredible is that? So yeah, just 24 different kids playing across the state right now. I mean, across the country right now, and just it's really cool.
And Coach, just ballpark it. When you get to signing day, how many do you think out of this senior class might have that ability or that opportunity to go play at the next level?
And it depends on what they decide to do. But I mean, typically we're going to have 4 to 5, and I think we may have 5, 6, maybe even 7 that'll sign. And
so that'll be be a great time there when it comes to signing day. But you got to come out and support them tonight. It's senior night, their final home game in the regular season. Of course, with the region championship, you guys will have at least one home playoff game. We'll get to that another time before we finish up the regular season tonight. 7 o'clock, note earlier kickoff time by 30 minutes tonight at Memorial Stadium. So get out there and support these seniors in their final regular season football game here tonight. For Coach Danny Britt, I'm Kevin Thomas. If you missed any portion of the show, watch bcsports.com or go to our YouTube page and like and subscribe, and you can go back and watch anything you may have missed. And more importantly, come out here to BowTie Barbecue, enjoy a great bite to eat, some great food with some great people here at BowTie Barbecue on Waters, right up from Eisenhower. We'll see you later tonight for BC and Islands right here on WatchBCSports.com.